Today, we're diving into a pressing issue that directly impacts our nation's education system, the intersection of an unsecured border and education. Helping uncover the hidden truths of the unprecedented number of illegal immigrants crossing into our country is the Oklahoma State Superintendent for Public Instruction, Ryan Walters. Ryan, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
For having me on, and thank you for covering this topic. Our schools are being overrun with fentanyl, with illegal immigration. We have to get this border secured.
Yeah, I want to pick your brain some more. Your state, this is an important topic to discuss, whether you're a parent, an educator, or just someone invested in the future of our youth. Oklahoma, your state's not even a border state. So how's the record-breaking number of migrants and illegal immigrants affecting schools there?
Yeah, let me give you a statistic. So back in 2019, we had 50 overdose deaths in the state due to fentanyl. In 2022, we had over 600. Fentanyl is pouring into our schools, is pouring into our society. The mass influx of illegal immigrants are affecting our bigger schools, but also in small rural areas that have had a tremendous pressure placed on their education systems there. And what we continue to see is this lawlessness from the Biden administration that is going to undermine our schools. It's bringing drugs into our schools. It is going to have a huge negative impact. And we know from these fentanyl uses, we have children that have died the first time they try the drug. It is incredibly deadly. Joe Biden's lawlessness on the border is literally killing kids here in this country. We have got to get President Trump back in office, and we've got to get those policies back in place, or our kids are going to suffer, our towns are going to go under. This is an imminent threat to this country. We have got to secure the border.
Yeah, we know it's a dangerous issue affecting not only students, but adults as well. What about students in specific, the education system? How is this affecting the American children's education?
Right, let me give you a few examples. So first of all, not only are we having the fentanyl deaths in schools, we're having schools that are using resources to try to get the drugs out of schools, try to identify the drug usage. Okay, that's one. Then you see two, the amount of resources schools are using to deal with an influx of illegal immigrants that will come in on a year-to-year basis. We have seen some rural districts increase over 50% in just a year-to-year because of a mass influx of illegal immigrants. So they're trying to find folks that can translate, they're trying to find more teachers, and this is unsustainable for small districts. And then lastly, what you continue to see is the burden it's putting on a school district that is prepared to have 400 or 500 kids, and then all of a sudden, because of an illegal immigrant influx in the population, all of a sudden now they have 800 kids. And it is placing tremendous pressures as we're trying to lead as a country in education. We're trying to make sure that we're able to keep up with China. And what we continue to see is these are placing incredible difficulties in our school system to be able to prepare our kids to be able to compete in a global market. Well, right now, we're having trouble just keeping up with the influx of illegal immigrants in our schools.
The immigration issue, it's been ongoing for a long time. It'll likely never be fully fixed. However, it can certainly be improved. We saw that in the last administration. Do you think the impeachment of DHS Secretary in the House, although unlikely in the Senate, will improve what I heard you refer to as the unfunded mandate to educate illegal immigrants?
Oh, absolutely. We absolutely should hold Secretary Mayorkas accountable. He should be impeached. He should be removed. And I mean, this is though he's carrying out the bigger problem, though, is frankly, what's he doing? He's carrying out the will of Joe Biden. Joe Biden wants an open border. He wants illegal immigrants that are going to be voters for him in the next election. We've got to get President Trump back in the White House to close this down. We saw what he did for 4 years, and now we see what Joe Biden has done for 4 years. It is essential for our kids, for our communities, for our families to shut down this border. Every Democrat should be held accountable in D.C. for what they're doing to our kids in our schools.
And we also have new numbers from CBP regarding the composition of encounters at the border so far this fiscal year. More than 20,000 migrant encounters were with Chinese nationals, compared to about 3 years ago when only 450 encounters were with Chinese nationals. Big increase. Illegal immigrants arriving from all over the world. We're seeing that now. More than 1 million encounters since October, according to CBP. Are you noticing this trend in your schools?
We are. And I'm going to tell you one thing we found in our schools. We saw schools that were using communist Chinese propaganda in our schools with contracts with the Chinese Communist Party. So we have allowed Chinese nationals into our schools physically. We've also allowed them into our schools intellectually and financially. We are being undermined by the communist Chinese in our own country. And President Trump stopped this. We didn't have this problem with President Trump. Joe Biden has changed policy and allowed the Communist Party to enter in both physically and into our schools. And this is when we're talking about America can be a great country again. But if we're going to allow our enemies to literally come into our schools, undermine our kids, undermine our society, we're never going to get out of this decline that Joe Biden has us on. It is essential to take this threat seriously. The communist Chinese know what they're doing. They know how to indoctrinate. They know how to turn people against themselves. They've been doing it for years. They understand Marxist theory better than anyone. We have got to get the Chinese national illegal immigrants out, and we have got to get this influence out of our schools.
Yeah, and of course, they're claiming political persecution and climate change. That's why they're coming.
It's unbelievable. Just listen to them. They articulate, they are a threat. They have said they want to indoctrinate the next generation, that they want to undermine American values. They tell you what they're doing, and yet we still have Democrats who side with them and literally are taking place and allying with our enemies to undermine this country. It is unbelievable. It's unfathomable. More in the Biden administration should be impeached and held accountable for this traitorous act against this country.
Yeah, more of an example that every state is a border state. Oklahoma State Superintendent for Public Instruction, Ryan Walters, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.